Hey, fellow gardeners, if you love turning your soil into a thriving, nutrient-rich paradise, you need to stick around for this one. Today, I'm going to reveal a little-known trick that will get more worms into your garden than the usual banana peel method. And yes, it works consistently. Before we dig in, make sure to subscribe to the Evergreen Garden channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss a practical, soil-transforming tip. Also, drop a comment with your worm-boosting success stories. I read every single one. Worms are more than just garden friends, they are essential soil engineers. They aerate your soil, break down organic matter, and transform it into some of the richest fertilizer you can imagine. Many gardeners reach for banana peels as bait for worms, but the truth is, there's a much more effective method, and it starts with what I like to call the rotten root trap. Banana peels have a lot of sugar, which does attract worms, but they decompose slowly in cooler soil, and their surface often dries out, limiting worm interest. Rotten roots, on the other hand, are already partially decomposed and full of microbial activity. Worms are drawn to soil rich in microbes because it's easier for them to digest. Imagine a carrot left in a compost pile for 2 weeks. It softens, ferments slightly, and begins to smell earthy. That is pure worm magnetism. A single medium carrot or a small parsnip left to rot for a week can attract dozens of worms to one small patch. Roots from plants like carrots, beets, radishes, or even old potato stumps work exceptionally well. The key is to let the roots sit in a moist environment until they begin breaking down naturally, but not so long that they turn completely to mush or attract pests. The sweet spot is a root that is soft, slightly fermented, and ready for worms to feast on immediately. Alright, to get started, you'll want to choose a spot in your garden that you'd like to enrich with worms. Next, dig a small trench about 6 inches deep and 8 inches wide, and then place your partially rotten roots right there in the trench. Cover them lightly with a mix of garden soil and just a handful of finished compost. This soil cover, you see, keeps the roots moist and protects them from birds and other pests. Finally, water the area gently, making sure it's evenly damp but not waterlogged. Now, the ratio of rotten root to soil doesn't have to be exact, but I've found that for every 1 cup of broken down root material, covering it with about 2 cups of soil creates, well, the perfect microenvironment for worms to thrive. The soil acts like a protective blanket, and the roots are basically a buffet. Over the next few days, you'll probably notice small tunnels forming and worms gradually appearing, turning your soil into living, breathing compost. Worms are, honestly, incredibly sensitive to moisture and temperature. Rotten roots in dry soil will just go unnoticed, while roots in soggy soil might rot too quickly and create those anaerobic conditions, which worms really avoid. Ideally, you want to place your trap in a part of the garden that retains slight moisture without flooding. Early morning or late evening is the perfect time to check your traps, since worms are most active in these cooler hours. Another trick is to rotate your root traps across different sections of your garden. This doesn't just attract worms, it encourages them to move through your garden naturally, improving aeration and nutrient distribution. For example, set up a trap in the north corner this week, then move it to the south border next week. Within a month, your garden soil will start showing dense worm activity across the beds. Once you've attracted worms and let them work their magic for 2 to 3 weeks, the soil around your traps will be packed with worm castings. You can carefully lift the topsoil and mix it into your vegetable beds or around your flower roots. This worm-rich soil is high in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, exactly what your plants need for robust growth. A practical example, for a standard 4x4 raised bed, you can set up 3 to 4 rotten root traps, evenly spaced, and after 2 weeks, mix the worm-rich soil throughout. Your tomatoes, peppers, and leafy greens will thank you with bigger, healthier leaves and stronger root systems. One of the biggest mistakes is using fresh roots directly. Worms don't immediately go for raw, firm roots. They need a little pre-decomposition. Another mistake is overwatering. Too much water creates a swampy environment and can drown worms. Similarly, covering the roots with heavy mulch like straw can slow decomposition. Keep your cover light and breathable. Finally, some gardeners expect immediate results. It often takes a few days for worms to discover the trap and start feeding. Patience is key. Once you've established a good worm population using rotten roots, keep them fed and happy by periodically adding small amounts of decomposed vegetable scraps or coffee grounds. Avoid chemical fertilizers, as they can harm the delicate soil ecosystem. Also, avoid digging aggressively near worm colonies. They prefer gentle, loose soil. Over time, a consistent supply of decomposing roots and kitchen scraps will keep your worm population stable, making your garden more resilient and productive. In conclusion, the rotten root trap isn't just a trick. It's a proven method to supercharge soil fertility and attract worms in a way banana peels simply can't compete with. By understanding the importance of partial decomposition, moisture, and placement, you can turn ordinary garden beds into worm magnets, creating soil that practically grows itself. If you found this guide useful, don't forget to subscribe to Evergreen Garden for more hands-on soil transforming strategies. Share this video with your fellow gardeners and drop a comment below telling me which route you're going to try first. I can't wait to hear about your worm-rich garden adventures.